How's it going, my dudes? I hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to do a little bit of live resampling a vocal in Pull Stretch, then putting it into Vital and seeing if we can make a nice little lead to fill this gap here.
Back in 1922.
Because someone gave me an idea in the comments section, and let's quickly read over yesterday's comments. Sticky Tag, shout out to you, mate. Love that. That tiny reverb tail is absolute gold. Sounds so much life and it's a tiny little thing. Yeah, this also was a good tip I gave in a lesson today, apparently. Anyway, yeah, these little tiny extra reverb tails that are almost barely noticeable on certain sounds just helps to put them in a room and makes it more natural. And sometimes you can, I can really hear when something's been cut off abruptly and there's no like little detailed reverb at the end of it. It sounds unnatural because you're not putting the sound into a space. And yeah, phenomenal. Well, that's very nice. Discarded, thank you. Gleb, hilarious choice of sample, thank you, sir. Back in 1992. Yes, so this part, I think actually you're right. I think this is the best part of the vocal. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've chopped out the first part, the granddad bit. I'm just going to use this as the response, and we're going to use it also to make a lead sound in a second. Congrats on BBC playing a song. Yes, appreciate that. Also, we just got 2,500 subscribers as well, so that's also wicked. So thanks a lot for all your support, dudes. And Vernon, where you been all my life? Vernon, exactly. That is a good point. We're gonna go to Vernon and set up a studio there and like resample some bacon sizzle. Good morning, Brig G. Yeah, hello. Manuel first. Manuel's always first. Yes, it was a terrible accent on my last video. Anyway, yes, I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning because I was meeting a Japanese friend to record some aerial acrobatic visuals for an upcoming song. So excited to share that with you guys. The song and the visuals. Hopefully they will kind of work together. Maybe they won't. Anyway, the song's pretty cool. Pretty much finished it now. Just need to sort of finish the mastering and then get it uploaded. So that's exciting. Anyway, that's enough about me. Sorry, I always talk about myself, don't I?
Back in 1922.
So let's together then try to do something with Pull Stretch with this vocal.
Back in 1922.
Because I always seem to do the Pull Stretch thing without recording it and then just tell you that I did it, and then you're like, okay, thanks, mate. Yeah, so we're gonna turn it on and press capture, and let's. I want to make a sound that has a little bit of a mid-range to it as well, not just like a high airy sound. So I want to make sure I've got a bit of low end in there still, like, not like bass, but like mid-range. So yeah, let's capture this vocal here.
Back in 1922.
So we've ticked capture, we've played it. Now we're going to untick capture. I mean, it's already pretty nice, to be fair. I like that. But let's mess with some of these settings. And yeah, like got no idea what I'm doing. But I'm going to just play around with some of these over here. That seems to get a bit more noisy, like kind of white noise in there somewhere. It's quite cool though. Let's try tonal versus noise. Let's try the stretching. Ooh, hello. That's pretty cool. Let's try the frequency shift as well. Where the pitch is starting to move all over the place now, so I might have a little listen with the rest of the track if we can. And I'm just really, I know the timing's going to be all off, so I'm just listening to the tone and if that kind of fits with the rest of the song. Oh, that got a bit dark there. I like that. I kind of had this little tone there which has gone away now, so I don't know if I can get it back, but I should have just been recording this whole like session on a separate channel or something. Maybe that's what I'll do next time, so that I can make sure to capture any like magic bits. I'm going to leave that pitch at 0. Well, let's try minus 12 actually. Yeah, it's a little bit too dull when I do that. Because it's got to fit over the top of the other bass still. But this is quite nice so far. Alright, that was quite cool. Let's see what happens if I just bounce it now. Because you never know what it's actually going to come out with. So let's see what it kind of sounds like. And we've got quite a lot of audio, so we can probably have a little listen through it and see what the good parts are. So they're sort of quite similar, but I did like a little part. A little shit at the end. That was quite cool. But in context, you know, I'm gonna have to just sort of just move it around and listen in the, you know, how it works with everything else. So let's add in back the original 1922, and then we actually want to only use like we want the audio to stop here. So
back in 1922.
Sorry if this is going to be a bit of a longer video because I'm kind of just testing things around a bit. I kind of want to use parts of the waveform that are loud, so maybe the beginning bit, or maybe we'll try this part here as well. That's quite nice.
Back in 1922.
Yeah, it's almost I like the sort of second half of it. Maybe what I can do is use a little bit of that, and maybe I'll try using a little bit of the starting point and sort of splice, just sort of layer them next to each other.
Back in 19.
That's quite cool. Yeah, because this has a little bit more of an oomph to it, this when I add in this extra section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy those over, and then for the second one I'm going to take that off, so it's essentially not always at that with that sort of transient part to it, so we can sort of alternate between the two versions.
Back in 1922. Back in 1922. Back in 1922.
That's pretty cool. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to really sidechain it to the kick to give a little bit of that extra movement to it. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. There we go.
Back in 1922.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool around there. If we listen, you can hear there's a little bit of click because I haven't faded in these two separate parts. So I'm going to quickly fade these guys in. And then, yeah, I'll just copy that over quickly. Or maybe let's just make that a new file. And then all of them, we're going to make sure to fade the ends off a little bit as well. There we go.
Back in 1922.
So that's really nice, but it's working with the bass, with this Thundersaw bass. So what we've got to do is we've got to make sure it's not going to clash too much with it. So let's perhaps EQ out a little bit of low end. That's quite nice.
Back in 1922. Back in 1922.
And never be afraid to just rag up the high end if there's not much in there, because you can get a bit of extra detail out of it. As long as there's no horrible spiky bits, like there's a little bit of one there, you know. Let's just do it all just a little bit then, in that case, because I want it to be a bit smooth still.
Back in 1922. Back in 1922. Back in 1922.
So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's different. It really sticks out in the mix a little bit because it's a very different texture. to everything else. We'd probably do a little bit more to get it to blend in. I did think about resampling this in Vital as well, so that's something we could do maybe in another video, but I wanted to keep this one short, and I think it's already very usable. Perhaps one way we could quickly make it fit the mix more is to give it a bit of reverb. It's quite nice and simple, but just give it a little bit of that chroma, just to get it to fit a little bit better. I'm going to put my LFO after that, just so it always sidechains with the reverb on as well, with the kick.
Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2.
So it's pretty cool. Maybe we could like try and boost a little bit of like the high mids or something.
Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2.
Yeah, as I sort of turned it down there, I sort of started to feel like it's more of a in the middle of the room kind of sound, not really a proper upfront sound. So essentially I'm starting to think that I'll use the Thundersaw as the one that's really, you know, up in your face, and this one is going to be a little bit behind it. So in that case, you know, I'm going to just maybe actually take that brightness down and the volume a little bit more. Let's give it a little bit more reverb as well, actually, then. Yeah, why not? You know, put it. It doesn't have to be an upfront lead if that's not what it's designed to kind of be. Let's sit it a bit further back in the mix, and it still kind of adds to the overall, you know, dynamic group of sounds.
Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2. Back in 19.2.
So that was done live. So I didn't obviously think of this idea. So excuse me if it's not the absolute most perfect lead sound that you could make. However, I think that sounds pretty cool. And it reminds me a bit of like some older, weirder, like Dubai, or I don't know who else were those producers I used to listen to, or some like maybe older, darker Alex Perez stuff where there's just like weird vocal textures that are a little bit dark and haunting. I think that's got a little bit of that vibe to it.
Back in 19.2.
Yeah, I quite like that dark little vocal layer from the original vocal using pull stretch. Haven't put it through Vital like I was actually thinking about doing, but anyway, sounds pretty good. I'm going to leave it there for today because I don't want to take too much of your time, but thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing, all that good stuff. And yeah, hope you guys are having a great week, and make sure you stay creative and keep focusing your energy on your music. Peace out.